everyone, welcome to another video. I know this is kind of throwing it back a little bit with the location. I just decided to film in the bedroom today. This is just going to be a very quick video. It's kind of like an update book haul, although there's two items here today that aren't books, but I did buy them at the bookstore. If you've watched my reading vlog of Koreadathon, I did take myself out one of those days during that week. I kind of went out to the city. I went to a cafe, had some pancakes, and went to two different bookstores that I usually go to whenever I go out to the city. Kind of just browsed and just hung out with myself because I'm a hashtag learner. I am a sad woman. I should really say that I'm an independent woman. I can hang out by myself, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. So I guess you could consider this a haul video. I know this is very spontaneous, but yeah, I guess without further ado, we'll get straight into the Bookish haul. Some of these aren't books per se, but I'll kind of show you what I got. So the first book that I have here is When Rain Turns to Snow by Jane Godwin. This is, I believe, a middle grade. Well, I think it's a middle grade. It might be YA. Contemporary book. It sounds a little sad. This book is basically following Lissa, our main character, and then one day someone arrives on her doorstep with a baby. I guess it's about a runaway and how their lives kind of intertwine with each other. I don't know. I think more than anything, it was the cover that kind of captured my attention when I was at the bookstore. And it's a book that I haven't really heard anyone talk about on BookTube. It kind of sounded like a simple story, but it also sounds very complex at the same time. The other thing I got was a moleskin journal. I don't want to rip this open, but I will. It says that this edition is individually numbered. It's a collector's edition and it's one of 9,999 copies. Very exclusive, I must say so myself, but I couldn't help myself. I was keeping an eye on this particular edition of Moleskin for a few weeks now. It's a Lord of the Rings edition of a Moleskin's journal. Oh, it's so beautiful. I decided to splurge and get myself this copy. It's kind of got an illustration of the rings of power from Middle Earth, and then around the border it says 3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie, 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. So beautiful. Can you see? I love it. And then on the back it has the same quotes written in Elvish. I don't know if that will focus, but it's beautiful. And then I think these are just lined. Oh my gosh, the illustration on the inside too. Oh, my number is 9,769. It's just a simple like lined journal. I'm so scared to use this because it's so beautiful. I'll have to try and save this journal. I kind of don't want to use it. Whatever. So I got that. It was kind of like a treat yourself kind of moment. So those two items I got at a store called Dymocks. It's a bookstore in Australia. The next place I went to was Kinokuniya, which is a bookstore originally from Japan, but they have a store here in Sydney as well. And I got 3 books. The first book that I picked up from Kinokuniya was The Woman in the Dunes by Kobo Abe. Again, I think more than anything, it was the cover that kind of drew me in. So I got that. I don't know if this is sort of in the realms of magical realism / literary fiction. I'm not too sure. It sounds a bit scary almost. I'll just read you the synopsis of it. It says, after missing the last bus home following a day trip to the seashore, an amateur entomologist is offered lounging for the night at the bottom of a vast sand pit. But when he attempts to leave the next morning, he quickly discovers that the locals have other plans. Held captive with seemingly no chance of escape, he is tasked with shoveling back the ever-advancing sand dunes that threaten to destroy the village. His only companion is an odd young woman. Together, their fates become entwined as they work side by side at this Sisyphean task. It just sounds very interesting. I don't know if it's a thriller. I don't know if it's drama. Maybe something about this cover made me assume that it has some sort of surreal elements to it, but who knows? It just sounds very intriguing. I've never heard of this book before, but I'm very excited to read it. I haven't had the best luck with Japanese literature as of late, so my hope is still there. So I picked this one up. The next book I picked up was Philip Pullman's The Northern Lights, and this is kind of the new editions of this book series, and I just found the first book just so stunning. They were also doing a 20% off deal for children's books when I went there, so I decided to get a copy of this book, and I just found this book so stunning. So stunning. I have not read Northern Lights, so this is something that's going to be interesting. It's a middle grade fantasy book. I mean, you guys all know this is quite a famous middle grade book. Again, I'm like a crow. I'm drawn to shiny, beautiful things, so I ended up just getting a copy, even though I think I already have a copy of this book. This book was just stunning, so I decided to get that, and if I read it and enjoy it, I will be purchasing the other two books in this edition as well. The last thing I got was 1,000 Beginnings and Endings by Ellen Oh and Elise Chapman. It's edited by those two authors, but we have a variety of different authors that actually wrote the stories within this book. It is, of course, a collection of short stories. I mean, I kind of heard like hit and miss things about this book, but I still wanted to get it because I believe these are all Asian authors that wrote the stories, so I was just really intrigued, and I kind of wanted to see what it was all about. I'm hoping to like most of the stories. I was curious. And the last thing that I got is in this little white box. Oh my gosh, you will die. If you're a Studio Ghibli fan, you're gonna be impressed by this. This was a real treat yourself moment. I don't know. I really should not be let loose to go wandering at the shops by myself because I end up spending a lot of money. Anyway, I got this cup and it's like a Spirited Away cup. Will this focus? Come on. Oh, you can see it. It's focusing. Isn't it just stunning? It's kind of got all the little characters from the movie. I love it. There was like a Kiki delivery service version and a Totoro version of this. Whenever I go back, I might get the Totoro one. This cup was definitely not cheap. It was definitely an impulse buy, but I couldn't. Spirited Away is one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies, so I don't know. This was just calling my name, so I ended up getting that. Anyway, I think those were all the purchases that I made the other day when I went on my little solo date with myself, because I'm a loser. No jokes. More like loner. So that's it. These are all the stuff that I got the other day when I went shopping by myself. This is definitely a very spontaneous video, but I kind of wanted to film it. If you were curious of the stuff that I bought when I went out during my reading vlog of Koreadathon, so this is basically what I got. So yeah, that is it for today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and have a wonderful reading week, and keep safe, and I guess I'll see you in my next video. Bye!